From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm John Kennedy. A massive winter weather system dropping heaps of snow on Ontario and Quebec is continuing to intensify as Environment Canada forecasts at 15 to 25 centimeters of additional snow in Toronto. Similar conditions for southwestern Ontario are being reported, with an additional 20 to 30 centimeters of snow expected to come down in the Ottawa area. Quebec has seen snowfall of 20 to 40 centimeters high, with areas east of those cities looking at 30 to 50 centimeters. Environment Canada is warning conditions will continue to deteriorate as the day progresses. Police in Quebec say they are investigating a snowmobile crash that killed a man in his 40s. The crash happened in Quebec's Charlevoix region, northeast of Quebec City, with the 911 call regarding a missing man. Police found the man after a search in Notre-Dame-des-Monts, and he was declared dead in hospital. Officials say the man seems to have swerved to avoid the collision, but struck a tree while riding in a wooded area northeast of Montreal. The Canadian Coast Guard says the cargo ship MSC Baltic 3 reported the loss of power, then ran aground on the western coast of Newfoundland.
All 20 people on board the ship were safely airlifted from the vessel Saturday morning. Marine Communications and Traffic Services in Port-aux-Basques received a mayday call from the ship that was near Lark Harbor on Saturday morning. It reported losing power about 12 nautical miles outside the entrance to Bay of Islands. The Coast Guard says weather and sea conditions were unfavorable and the ship was unable to secure an anchor when it ran aground. The cause of the loss of power is not yet known. Lisa Laporte, The Canadian Press.
Overseas peace talks are taking place with Russia and Ukraine about ending the invasion war. Republican Senator and U.S. Armed Services Committee member Mark Wayne Mullins says keeping the initial discussions with Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky separate is a strong move to boost talks.
That's putting both people, getting them in separate rooms, talking about what they will accept, and then finding out a negotiation path forward before you bring them to the table.
Zelensky says he won't accept any negotiations about the war in Ukraine that don't involve his country, and European governments agree they want a seat at the table. Many health experts are calling bird flu a global pandemic of animals, as it infects a range of mammals and birds, including millions of chickens. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics says egg prices are up 53% over the past year, and Alexis Christoforis has more.
We've seen some restaurants charge surcharges like Waffle House per egg. Others are looking for these eggs alternatives. I spoke with the company founder of Just Eggs. They're a vegan-based, plant-based company, and they're saying the sales are through the roof, up 5 times in January versus a year ago, and now they're ramping up production.
This previous jump in egg prices was the biggest since America's last bird flu outbreak in 2015. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Cale Makar says he'll do everything he can to ensure he plays in Canada's do-or-die game against Finland at the Four Nations face-off tomorrow afternoon. The number one defenseman for Canada's men's hockey team is fighting an illness. He missed last night's 3-1 loss to the United States. Manitoba's Caitlin Laws is recovering from a tough loss at the Canadian Women's Curling Championship with a 12-3 win over provincial rival Kate Cameron. Laws gave up steals and 7 ends for an 8-2 loss to Quebec at the start of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, and play continues throughout the day. The Baltimore Banner reports that 7 more massage therapists have accused Baltimore Ravens kicker Justin Tucker of sexually inappropriate conduct. The news website says a total of 16 therapists from 8 Baltimore area spas have now shared accounts between 2012 and 2016. Tucker has said he has never received any complaints, and the NFL has said they will look into the matter. From the Canadian Press, I'm John Kennedy.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.